This is a video explaining how the House bill calculation handles students with out-of-school suspensions. So I have a student in context, Jim Bernard. He has been suspended from school this week for fighting. And if I just view his student's discipline incident, so I just clicked on the white triangle, you can see he was fighting and he was suspended out of school suspension all week, Monday through Friday for 5 days. Now, Dazzle doesn't automatically enter those absences, and it's not going to. Someone needs to mark him absent for this week. And you want to make sure that you're using an absence type of out-of-school suspension. So as you can see, he's marked absent Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, out of school suspension as the absence type. Well, we're on his absence page. He missed Friday. He left at 11:15, and then the first day of school was Thursday. He didn't show up for that either. So he's not doing so hot this year, but he's going to be hitting some thresholds. And I'll explain that in a second. So this out-of-school suspension, you need to make sure, so let's type in the cheater absence type. And this takes you to the absence types maintenance. Many of you do not have access to add absence types to this page. And before you add absence types or edit, please contact your Dazzle super user, your EMIS coordinator. Please don't just add things willy-nilly or subtract them from here. I want to point out this out-of-school suspension absence type. It has to be marked as is out-of-school suspension because the House bill calculation looks at this because the law says the students suspended from school, that cannot be counted towards their habitual absences. So the habituals are the unexcused absences. However, out-of-school suspensions can count towards excessive absence thresholds. And the excessive are the absences the excessive is you count excused and unexcused. So why we need this checkbox is so the House bill calc knows any of these absences, ignore for habitual thresholds, but look at them for excessive. So I'm going to go here to the ad hocs and run one of the threshold reports. So there are 3 of them, and I have another video detailing the options. So I'm going to come in here into the attendance folder. You have these 3 choices. I'm just going to pick the threshold detail. I like the reports that end in the word detail because that means I can get them out in CSV or Excel, and then I can sort and manipulate them all I want. I want to point out this school name. In this drop down, notice I only have the high school. That's because only students at the high school have hit the threshold. So I have a primary building, a middle school, an elementary, and nobody there has hit thresholds. That's why those buildings do not show on this report drop down. So I'm going to select I want the high school. For status name, I'm flipping this to not equal to. In grade level, I'm flipping this to not equal to, so that way I don't have to pick anything in the value column, because I want every student, regardless of what status they are and regardless what grade they are, I want every kid who's hit a threshold. Report comes back, and it's early in the year. School's only been in session 7 days, and I have 5 kids. Now again, since this says detail, I could go export to CSV or export to Excel. And I have what date they triggered it. So Jim Bernard, he's my student who was the out-of-school suspension, Jim Bernard. And sure enough, he hit the monthly excessive absences, and he hit it today, 8:30. So the monthly excessive says 38 hours in 1 month. So Jim has hit the 38 hours in 1 month. While we're in here, I want to show you another report that I like. We go back here, you can click the paper again, or you can just click this breadcrumb trail and go back to the Analytics Hub. I'm going to open the attendance folder again. If I scroll down, daily absence detail. This is one of my favorites. And if you've listened to my other videos, you know I like this report a lot. You can gold star it. And when you gold star a report, it actually shows up here in your pop-up in your favorites daily absence list. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. And what I like about this report is it tells me exactly how many minutes and hours each day the student is absent. So I will go ahead and filter here. I want the high school and just give me all the student statuses. His name is Bernard, and this report's really hard to read on the screen. But remember, it's a detail report, and I'm running it because it will come out in CSV. So when I open this up, here's Bernard, and I'll expand these columns. G is the date. Okay, he's got 6 hours on, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and he missed 2.25 hours on Friday. And actually, there's another line. On Thursday, the 22nd, he didn't show up for school either. Now, so it's saying he met the excessive threshold. Let's look up his absence intervention page. So again, I click this white triangle and I get this drop-down menu. And I went to the absence intervention page. He's got 38 hours excessive. And if I scroll down here, sure enough, he hit the excessive absence threshold. So I need to click this blue icon to create an intervention. Now, one of the responsibilities for when a student hits excessive absences, you have to send the parent a letter. So I clicked the contact involvement, I expanded that. I clicked the parent involvement icon so I could expand that. Now this top icon with this funny looking symbol, that's the primary, or I should say the top person with this funny symbol. Now when you save it or when you select it, it comes back with the star. That's to signify that's primary contact. You have to send them a written notification, and it's getting sent out in the mail today. And it was the excessive absences. And I like to take detailed notes. Sent letter to mom 8/30/19 drip. Now I'm going to go ahead and save this. So this right here, this date and this written notification of excessive absences, this information goes to ODE. ODE doesn't get who you sent it to, but they get the date you sent the letter and it was for excessive absences. So you've got to make sure this is documented. Now, if I want that letter, I have a print letter icon right here. That means I have letters loaded, and I have a video out there on the Dazzle portal page explaining how you can get your own letters loaded. I can choose my attendance letter updated, and what's awesome about these letters is, so I have Jim Bernard in context, so it pulls all of Jim's information. So there's Michelle, his mom. Here's my district name. It will insert, here's Jim's name right here. It is even putting the principal's name, and then on the second page, it's all of his absences. And notice, even it says the out-of-school suspension, it's documenting those days that he's out. So I can do a file save as, file print, And now I am finished with his out of school suspension.